flames of the devil's breath. I wouldn't sleep with you. I wouldn't sleep with you. Just arrest you. I wouldn't sleep with you, not if you paid me. I wouldn't sleep with you if it would save me from a fate much worse than death, from the flames of the devil's breath. I wouldn't sleep with you. I wouldn't sleep with you. Save me from a fate much worse than death, from the flames of the devil's breath. I wouldn't sleep with you. I wouldn't sleep with you. Just arrest you. I wouldn't sleep with you, not if you paid me. I wouldn't sleep with you if it would save me from a fate much worse than death, from the flames of the devil's breath. I wouldn't sleep with you. I wouldn't sleep with you. the devil's breath. I wouldn't sleep with you. I wouldn't sleep with you. Do you remember? My name was Johnny. I tried to date you. I had no money. You couldn't see me. You looked to me. 'Cause your lip was thin. You fucking loony. I wouldn't sleep with you if you paid me. I wouldn't stick with you if it would save me from a fate much worse than death. From the flames of the devil's breath.
I have to use the words.
Sleep with you.
Here we are.
I wouldn't sleep
Happy
with
Wednesday, children of the lawn.
Yes, children of the lawn. What happened there? Oh. Too many dials. Too much time. Too many numbers. Too many dials. Want to see the dials? Check this out. Ah! How's that for dials? This is doggy cam. See?
Doggy
See,
cow.
there's Freedom Fridays, the setup. You got the theme song, which is at the end. That's for the. Hello.
Oh,
That's for the
a lot
end.
of the
For the credit
children-
roll. See all this? Come on, there's 8 buttons there. Well, one of them is a clock. This is the clock. But yeah, there you go. So that's how cool is that? That's doggy cam. You want to see doggy cam? Doggy. Where is he? There he is. Oh, look at me. Hey,
Daddy.
in the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps. Doggy cam. How about that? Always
Such a good
upgrading here on the
boy.
show, kids. Always upgrading here on the show. Now, I don't know whether you noticed this or not. I'm sure you noticed that the opening song was "I Wouldn't Sleep with You" from the John Entwistle Band. But did you notice?
I'm telling you, that is totally fictional on John's
Yeah,
part.
yeah. I wouldn't. Yeah, that is
John
fiction.
writing a fiction song.
But take a note of the date. It's 5:15. That's right. So,
Thank you, Kitty.
oh, Kitty's going to be the first one to.
And all our children are in one place.
Puppy cam. Here you go. Thank you, Kitty. Oh,
Laser Puppy. Remember Laser Puppy from TV?
right, that's him.
That's him.
Yeah.
It's actually ours.
That's our laser puppy. That's our laser puppy. We got to get him right here, though. He's a little off center. Come on, laser puppy. Come on, laser puppy. You're not doing it. Okay, it's all right. It's okay. Because we're easy today.
Easy like a Wednesday evening.
Yep, easy like Wednesday evening. So, interesting show for you tonight. You've seen a lot of the musical.
Ooh, thank you, Michael.
Oh, he wants to see the laser puppy. And I don't blame him. Because you got to see the laser puppy. You know, you just have to do that. Thank you, Michael. Interesting show for you tonight. I picked out some stuff you've seen. I don't know if you've seen a lot of the live stuff, but I picked out different stuff. I picked out interviews and things from stage and screen. So,
A little smorgasbord.
yeah, s'more. Is that what it is?
A poo-poo platter.
Smorgasbord?
It's a poo-poo platter.
It is a poo-poo platter. Just hope you don't poo-poo it.
Ha!
So let me see. I even have a list
I
of.
wonder if they still have that at Chinese restaurants.
I hope not.
I remember we went to one and the first time we went to a Chinese restaurant together and we saw the poo-poo platter.
Where did we go? Tommy Chen's?
No. The place in Peekskill by the
We never went to Tommy
Pasta
Chen's.
Plus in that shopping center.
I know why we didn't go to Tommy Chen's.
I don't want.
Told you the cat story.
No.
I don't know if it was true. I don't know if my mother was just being my mother or what. You know.
I don't want to know. Oh, thank you, Lori.
Oh,
Hey, Lori!
Yeah, where's his sounds? Usually he has sounds. He has sounds.
Anton says Remy is one awesome mama.
Yeah, check him out.
Well, he's a daddy because it's a he. We'll take it.
Yeah, we will take it. So let's see. What is
Gail said they still do have it for 2.
Poo-poo
Oh,
Club.
thank you, Snow White.
Snow White?
Although I think we have quite a few Snow Whites now. Kitty is getting
Nah, there's
Oreos.
Then no, there's only one Snow White. Kitty is, she'll have to be that other princess.
The other princess?
Yeah.
Which one is that? Cinderella.
That one. The one, who was that?
I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, Amy Adams.
Amy Adams.
But I don't know what the name of the princess
We'll
was.
figure it out. We will figure it
That
out.
was what was the name of that movie?
I don't know. I don't remember. But it had that guy in it that was on that thing.
The jury duty guy.
Wow.
Jury duty.
One of these days
I
we're
have,
actually...
now a lot of the children have been saying that they are sick and tired of the gloomy weather they're having. They're having gray skies and they're sick of it. What about the green grass though?
Yeah. Got the green grass.
That's right.
April showers bring May showers. Down here, it's already summer
Well,
here.
the calendar is kind of off lately because it doesn't really know.
A lot of stuff is off.
Our weather has been so hot lately; it's felt like August.
Yeah, it's been not our favorite weather, but that's okay because weather can change. You can change the weather.
That's
You gotta
right.
drive to get there. Anyway,
Lori has super green grass. All right, Lori.
I've seen Lori's grass. Lori's grass is.
Lori's got a great yard.
Yeah, she does a beautiful property, and yeah, she's.
Oh, Kitty says today is sunny and warm, and she will take it. There you go, girl.
5:15.
5:15.
Bad. Anyway, that was close. We were close.
Inside, outside,
Leave me alone.
inside, outside, nowhere is home.
Inside, outside,
Where have I been?
out of my brain on the train. 50.
I thought it was out of my brain on the train.
No, that's no. Out of my brain on the 5:15. So you were doing pretty good there for a while.
I was.
But you fucked it up.
Nothing like, what do you build me up?
Build me up,
Buttercup, baby, just to let me down.
let me down.
And mess me around, and then worst of all,
worst of all,
you never call baby when you say you will.
say you will.
I love you still, I need you
Ooh,
more than anyone, darling. You know that I have from the start. So build me up,
Build me up,
Buttercup, don't break my heart. Black Gumby! That was so funny when Mousy thought that was a black Gumby.
Yeah, she thought it was black Gumby.
And she wanted one. Where can I get a black Gumby? Well, she is a collector of...
Yeah, she's a collector of strange artifacts. She has
Yeah. She's got some
Who knew?
weird ones too.
She does have some real.
We'll have to get her to...
I think doesn't she have Lando Calrissian or I
don't know what that is.
Well, you know what Lando Norris is, right?
Yeah, a race car driver.
Okay, so Lando Calrissian, it's the only other Lando I know from Star Wars. Billy D. Williams.
Ah,
Is Billy
okay.
D. Williams?
Lori singing Build Me Up Buttercup.
But anyway.
OMG, I'm singing too.
Oh God, here we go. So anyway.
Oh, they want to know where Pokey is. We got Pokey. We got a Gumby and a Pokey. Now, how come Pokey's not black?
Because he's
it's
not green.
green.
Because he's not green.
Oh, thank you, Sue.
There's Pokey. There's Pokemon. Okay. Anyway, so you remember E? You remember E?
News.
E News Daily, and
They
all
still
that.
have E television.
And you remember how they had? They used to say, "You're watching E. That's E for entertainment, or E for whatever it is, right?"
Yeah.
Well, I get a call from E, and E says, "We understand that John and Whistle has a new band, and We'd really like to come out and see the band and interview John for, where are they now? I gotta make sure am I on the right, this is the right thing? Yes, for where are they now?
Where are they now?
I don't know where they were then. Now I'm really not sure. But at the end of the piece, right, and we did it John had a proper pub in his house, right? I mean, just a ridiculous, like, bigger than some pubs you might go to anywhere. It's just, typical
bigger
John.
Bigger than a little dive bar.
Yeah, bigger than a dive bar. You could have played a gig. So we always had a gig. But they wanted to do it in the bar. And so the guys from E come, and it's an English crew. And
they like to drink some of those.
They love
English
to drink
people.
some of those things in the bar. So we shoot the segment, which you'll see the segment, and then they start getting drunk. And I said, guys, what about, you're watching E. And John could say, that's E for Entwistle, right? I said,
Good one.
So we've got just enough sunlight. We go out the side door out to, the archery lawn, of course.
Yeah.
And
nobody played archery.
Nobody played archery. How do
What
you play
do?
archery? How do you play archery?
Well, it's a sport.
Okay.
Is it a sport?
It is when you say it. Anyway, so we go outside, right? I'm all excited because I had this great, that's E for Entwistle, right? Only I don't realize that the cameraman is so fucking drunk and Entwistle is so drunk that they're doing this. I'll give you and so the point of the story is we never got the piece, but they're doing this. Black Gumby, right? This is the cameraman, this is John, and they're doing this. So the camera, because they're just so freaking wasted, so the camera keeps going in and out of focus, yielding unusable footage, so we can never use that footage. But I thought I would play you the part that we could use. So this is Where Are They Now? And Why Are They There? Here you go.
As featured Woodstock performers, The Who closed the second night of the festival. The Who's career would go on to include 30 albums, more than a dozen gold records, countless hit songs, and an induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. While fans may have loved them, within the group, there was conflict.
The arguments will always seem to be about the same thing. Usually Roger couldn't hear himself singing. Roger just kept telling me to turn down. Every night he'd tell me to turn down, and I turned down. At one point at the Houston Astrodome, he shouted at me on stage to turn down, but obviously the people in the audience saw it, and I thought, well, this is enough, I can't take it anymore. And I took my bass off and threw it on the ground and said, you play the thing. It was much better that we smashed the equipment than smash each other back in the dressing room having an argument.
On stage, though, John anchored the band. Between Keith Moon's frenzied drum playing and Pete Townshend's rhythmic guitar work, John had to carry the melody on his bass. In the process, he revolutionized rock bass playing. With the release of Who's Next and Quadrophenia, The Who seemed unstoppable. But on September 7th, 1978, their world changed forever. Drummer Keith Moon died from an overdose of sleeping pills.
Keith was like my kid brother. We hung out a lot. We shared the same car. We shared the same room when we couldn't afford separate suites and stuff like that. So, yeah, it was a bit part of my life that disappeared, and a part of my music that disappeared as well, because we played so well together.
Though The Who continued without Keith, their music was never the same.
Keith's death affected the music quite a lot. It actually meant that The Who didn't have that crazy driving force.
Drummer Keith Moon, or Moon the Loon as he was known, was replaced by the more disciplined Kenny Jones.
Kenny Jones was a much tidier drummer, so the music changed considerably. We cut so many of the old songs out, and there's a mistake not to play more rock and roll. Suddenly we started disappointing our fans by not playing rock and roll anymore.
In 1984, after more than 20 years together, The Who called it quits. So where is John Entwistle now? John's still making music. While he's reunited with his former bandmates over the years, John enjoys performing with his own group.
I'm just a kid with a bass guitar, burning ambition.
John has recorded 6 solo albums as well as 2 records with the John Entwistle Band, including the soundtrack for the animated series Vampires.
Stayed up all night with a baseball bat and funky man ain't gonna get me.
And 1999's Left for Live, recorded during the band's Left for Dead tour. John has also been busy drawing his rock and roll cronies. Since designing The Who's 1975 album cover, he's found a new way to express himself.
It started off as a relaxation from the music, and now the music tends to be a relaxation from the art. It works both ways.
John has also collected a castle's worth of guns, armor, and vintage cars, though he still refuses to get a driver's license.
I prefer to drink, not drive.
As for those other 2 guys, Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey, Who fans know about their musical adventures. But the duo have also been enjoying some extracurricular activities. Pete's busy writing his memoirs. And in 1998, Roger starred as Scrooge in New York City's Madison Square Garden theater production of A Christmas Carol. As for John Entwistle, 3 decades after he first recorded with The Who, he's still making history.
I choose to think that, okay, I've got a place in history, but I want it to be bigger because I'm getting better and I'm still doing it.
In fact, in 1999, history repeated itself when John Entwistle went back to perform at Woodstock 30 years later.
So how about that? Cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aha! Very good.
Where are they now?
Well,
Dead.
no, not all of them.
Well,
John
it was
is.
about John.
But you don't know. John,
Yeah, John,
comes up from time to
I'm
time.
expecting it to start thundering any minute. So you do know that Volume 2 of John Entwistle Rarities Exhumed is complete.
Woo! Complete!
And you see, and you saw in that, where are they? This is interesting because I didn't plan any of this. I just threw a bunch of stuff into my
yeah, we had quite a busy day today.
Oh, we had a day. But it's
Quite a day.
and
such a night.
so you did hear a piece of Endless Vacation in the Where Are They Now piece, which is interesting because that's where we recorded it, and it's where we recorded all our stuff. That's John's studio. I have I have the story of that, of what happened, how that song came to be. I think I wrote it down on Facebook, but for those of you that might not have seen the post, John will tell you the story. But the music, I cobbled together a bunch of samples of bass solos because we had recorded Left for Live. We had recorded a bunch of shows live, and I picked out samples of his bass solo and created a song out of it, and I called him up in California and said, hey, we just wrote our first song, and he said, oh, really? How did we do that? And I said, well, and I told him, and he said, okay, bring it over and we'll finish it, and we did, and he wrote the song Endless Vacation, which is tongue-in-cheek track about the Who, because John wanted to play more than they played. But you'll see, I have a clip of that. But the fun part, is it on here? It must be.
Well, Kitty remembers John on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous.
Right. But that's, yes, and you can go see that stuff.
Oh,
it's out there.
Thank you, Gail.
Oh, thank you, Gail. There you go. It's Laser Pub. And, it was interesting writing songs together. John was very guarded, and I don't think, to my knowledge, I don't think he wrote with anybody else. He never wrote with any of the other guys in the Who. There's no co-writes on any of his solo albums, so I was the first co-writer on anything, which is amazing, and when it's funny because when you write with someone, you either click and it's obvious, or you struggle, and we clicked right away. I mean, it happened right away. Horror Rock was one of the first things that we recorded, and I had written that in '85. I had written the A section to it, and then he put the middle bit to it. It was just everything that we did, even the songs that we did, that we submitted for the Who album that never happened, they just happened so fast. It was just, he would just spit something out and it would be like perfect. There was no, it was just like, as they say in Chinese.
Because there was respect.
Yeah, woo-wee. Yeah, but it's not. No, it's not respect. I mean, the respect was there, but you can't do it on. It's about chemistry.
Right, and you liked each other. There's some bands
Well,
where
yeah.
the band members don't like each other, and if you present an idea, the other one will go, just because they don't want to give you
That's probably why Horror Rock. Why it took 15 years to get Horror Rock recorded.
Yeah. We have learned a lot.
Yeah, we've learned a lot. So, then of course we toured to when we recorded Left for Live, which he spoke about in that in the E piece. That's E for Endless. We toured it, and we did a bunch of in stores and record company stuff. And is TV watching? TV in here
No, I
tonight?
haven't seen him in here yet.
Okay, well, he's actually in this next clip.
Now, Kitty says yours is the best, Steve, from the house.
Mine is what?
I guess the interview with John. Is that what you're talking about, Kitty?
What you talking about, Kitty?
Yours is the best, Steve, from the house. I think she's talking about your interview with John for maybe the Ox's Tail.
Well, I was there for the
You know
E
what?
one. Every time you see him do this is in any of the interviews where he's wearing the blue sweater and you see him do this. I was sitting on the floor next to the camera.
Except when he talked about the drummer, Steve left the room.
Right, and I have that clip too about all the drummers that he played with and
Right.
so on and so forth. At least the ones that he didn't kill.
Yes, that's what she's talking about, Ox's Tail.
Ox's Tail, yeah. Well, that's that was, yeah, the stuff in the dining room. I don't know if I have that. If I put any of that
Well,
stuff.
Anton's-
Well, actually there is some. There's a clip that I don't think we used in Ox's Tail that I'm going to play for you. But
Anton says Horror Rock is an awesome tune.
I thank you. I would agree. I remember writing it, and I played the original Horror Rock from 1985 at the opening of last week's And Whistle Stop Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so we go out, we record Left for Live, and then we signed the record deal, and then we got tour support. And we went out and we did a bunch of in stores, and interesting story. We did what was the place in New York? We did Tower Records, and we did but there was a place downtown.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it. And we
Really
did
huge record.
Yeah.
No, it was more like electronics. It was like a Best Buy,
Yeah,
but
it's still there, and they still sell stuff.
it was on the east side, wasn't it?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, it was across from the river.
You can think
I remember that.
So anyway, how the things work is the label sends a car for you, right? And you get driven to the in-store and you taken in through the back and you sit there and you're behind a table and people come and you sign the record or whatever, and you know, mostly people there with Who stuff or John stuff, and you know, for John to sign. But a lot of people had the whole row of us sign the record, which we did. And so we did that all over the country. And this particular one, I mean, John, we had a thing where we had to do this in-store downtown in New York. It was one of the very first ones. And we're on our way uptown in a limousine to go back to the hotel where I don't remember, the Plaza or the Mark or wherever it was. And we're stopped in traffic in Midtown, and there's a building, right, on the side of the road, and it's on the side of the road, you know, across the street from where we're stopped in traffic.
That's where the building would be, not in the middle of the road.
No, well, in this particular case, and it had been taken out by the wrecking ball. You know, the wrecking ball comes and smashes the building, and it's amazing how they're able to do that between two buildings so close to one another. And it's just this pile of rubble between two buildings. And John's looking out the window and he has this smile on his face. It's rare I mean, you know, I'm happy to say I've seen the smile many times, but it usually means something bizarre.
And that was like your first time with John.
No,
No?
It was 97. It was when Left for Live came out. My first time with John.
I thought
It's
it
like our
was.
first time. Anyway, it was a first in-store.
Right.
Because the record had just come out. Anyway, so I looked at him and I said, "What are you smiling at?" And he looks over at the building and he said, the rubble, and he says, "Oh, that looks like a great place to play." And I'm thinking to myself, "You fucker, you goofing on city kids that have to play in that?" And so I said to him, "What?" And he said, "Oh yeah, and come to find out, John was born in 1944, born in the war, right? So he grew up playing in bomb sites just like that. They used to take the rubble and they'd build castles out of it.
Him and Pete.
Yeah, him and Pete together. And they used to find like watches or skeleton hands or, you know, just stuff from buildings that were bombed out. And
that was his
yeah,
place.
and that was his happy place. I mean, not his happy place, but for him, you know, that was it was a good memory, good childhood memory. And he's looking at this rubble, and I'm thinking, "Hey, you rock star snob bitch."
Well, when you're a kid, you're not thinking about how the rubble got like that. You're just playing in it.
Yeah.
And you're, you know, fantasizing like you're the knight, you know.
Yeah, you're the knight.
You're the
Yeah,
knight.
they used to play knights, and it was wild. So anyway, that's that story. And you know, when we would do the interviews for the record, people were always asking Who questions. Wow, when's the Who getting back together? Are you in touch with the guys in the Who? And he'd have his stock kind of snarky
He hated
answers.
talking about that.
He hated it. So we had to, when we went to do this particular tour, before the interviews, we said no questions about the Who.
Yeah,
Right?
and I had the pleasure of telling every radio station when I set up the boners, you can't ask any questions about the Who. It was like, what? It's like, John wants to talk about the John Entwistle Band,
Right.
not the Who.
Well, you'll get it. You'll get it from
And
this
you know
next
what?
clip.
They always brought up the.
Always. Anyway,
They don't listen.
they don't listen. They just don't listen.
It was a band that practically defined rock and roll in the 60s and 70s, The Who, a powerful part of the rock revolution. And this weekend, the band's bass player's in town. As Brian Barker reports, dozens of fans, young and old, are thrilled to see him.
Smash your head against the wall.
Now that's what you call a devoted fan. He's not alone.
He's just the best. He's the king. He's about the best bass player I've ever seen.
John Entwistle is a man recognized as a pioneer of the rock and roll bass guitar. He's been playing for 40 years. Now, nearly 4 decades after the Who cut their first album, he's still struggling to rally support for his new release, trying to convert rabid Who fans.
Yeah, it's cool. It's kind of depressing as well, though. I mean, I'm trying to promote my own band and I get asked questions about the Who, but...
There are fans of every age. John doesn't just attract former hippies, but there are plenty of those too. You can see it in their starstruck eyes.
I'm excited. My heart is beating really fast.
Laura Wright has been a fan for 30 years.
I feel like I'm in the presence of God.
Meeting Entwistle, she says, makes her life complete.
You ever been to Colorado Springs before, John?
I think I have. I don't know. I'm not sure. I've been everywhere, but I'm not sure.
But for a man like John, who says all of this attention is very flattering, just pleasing his fans is reason enough to maybe keep playing for another 40 years. Brian Barker, Eyewitness News.
Yeah.
And TV John was
Yeah, did
in
you see
line
TV?
there. Well, they don't know what he
You
looks
know what?
like. How would they see
Let
it?
me.
It was a band that practically defined rock and roll in the 60s and 70s.
Quiet down, dude.
Did they see TV?
Well, I don't know.
Especially they didn't know what he looked like
Now,
back
there
then.
he is, right there.
There he is in the
There
white.
he is in the white T-shirt,
That's him.
white pullover.
On the left.
That's it. Yeah, well, look, he's jelly-eyeing me.
He heard us.
Yes, he did. So anyway,
Yeah. So that must have been near Colorado or something.
it was in Colorado. Yeah.
There you go.
We
That
should have
would
looked at which Eyewitness News it
explain.
was.
Because TV lives in Colorado and he loves
He's
it.
the one who I think found that. I don't know if I think he sent me that tape because I wouldn't have gotten that.
Yeah, he probably
We
did.
didn't get air checks of everything. I mean, although I tell you what, I've got some stuff. I've got some interviews from like 98 and 99 where, how can I explain it? We needed to wear sunglasses. It was, you remember that, not the one at the art, with the one with the redhead that didn't want to interview me. She kept wanting to interview
Yeah.
John. And we were just, had been up all night, and now all of a sudden it's like 9 o'clock in the morning, and we have to do this interview, and it's like, so anyway, we went through a lot of sunglasses on that tour.
Oh, tell him of fishing glasses.
Oh shit! And we thought this, we love to do a road trip. Lori and I love to drive just to places that we've never been before, and on the tour bus, the Who, I guess, never stopped at truck stops. And when John
They
discovered,
weren't on a tour bus. They were always flew.
well, no, I'm
separately.
talking about back in the day when they were on a
Yeah,
bus.
but they were in England.
So anyway, when John discovered truck stops, that was like, and you know what? I took some pictures of that truck. No, he used to go through all the videotapes because there was a video player on the bus, and he'd buy like 30 tapes, and he'd buy everybody presents, and and it's all just junk. You know what I mean? It's plastic farm animals and things for your truck. I mean, it's just, reflectors. And so he gets on the bus, and he had a cow that he gave to Cody, which I still have.
A plastic cow.
Plastic cow, because
That he
Cody
bought
used
at
to
the
bark.
truck stop.
He used to bark at cows. We would drive. We told John, he barks when he sees cows.
And motorcycles.
And motorcycles. And so John, we would say to Cody, cows, if we were going by cows like in Texas or whatever, and he'd jump up and look out the window and start barking and wagging his tail. So John buys him a plastic cow, thinking he's gonna bark at it. It's like, it's not how it works, pal. But anyway, so he gets on the bus one time, I think it was a Flying J or one of those truck stops, and he's got this big plastic paper bag, and you can tell that there's just too much stuff in it, right? And we always love to see, what he got. I mean, he'd usually get war movies and all that
Because
stuff.
everybody would go their own separate ways
Yeah,
in the
everybody
truck
would
stop.
just go off in the truck stop.
They wouldn't shop together.
No. And it was, So, just one particular time he gets on the bus and he says, and I said, what'd you get? And he said, I got some fishing glasses. I said, fishing glasses? Whoa. Let's see some.
Because he used to go
He used
fishing
to
in
do
Cabo.
deep sea fishing. Yeah, he liked to, do that. That's where all the fish on the ceiling came from.
Right.
So he takes a pair of these fishing glasses out and he puts them on, and they're the kind of glasses that old people wear over their regular glasses to block the sun.
Really big, and they go
Really
like
huge,
wrap
like
around.
square, wrap around to block out the
And
sun.
bought like
Bought like
every
9
color.
pairs of them, every
Every
color,
color.
clear, pink, gray, green, every freaking color, yellow, just And I said, fishing glasses? Those are not fishing glasses. Those are old people glasses. And he said, no, they're not. I said, yeah, they are. That's what old people wear to block the sun from them. And
Godfrey gets on the bus.
He's standing there with them on. And Godfrey gets on the bus and goes, well, where'd you get those old people glasses?
And without hearing, Steve had told John, so
Right.
those were two people that
And
told
that was it. We never saw them again. I think they went out the window. You can't make this stuff up. He was just so much fun to be on the road with. But you know, you heard him talk about Kenny Jones and the difference between Kenny Jones and Keith Moon. And one of the things, and I don't know if we used this in Ox's Tale either, but I wanted him to talk with the DP, the photography, the guy who was shooting it. Wanted him to talk to him about his experience with drummers over the years. Now, me being a drummer, his drummer, in fact, I said, look, I'll leave the room so you can say whatever you want. And I won't see it, because it was whatever. I could have seen it, but I didn't.
Well, it's kind of like seeing how do you like sex with your wife and she's sitting right there? You can't really say.
You can't. That sucks. Speaking of Nikki Glaser,
What?
I'm kidding. She's just amazing. I don't know if Giselle thinks so, but anyway, so this is the piece where Justin asked him about the drummers that he played with over the years, and
Justin being Justin
Kreutzmann, whose father was the drummer in the Grateful Dead.
Bill Kreutzmann.
Bill, that's right, one of the drummers in the Grateful Dead. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this clip because it's kind of cool. So here you go. And Kitty, this is my footage from the house. I think this is what you're talking about. Anyway, here you go.
He played with everybody in the band. Sometimes he'd be playing with me, then the guitar solo would come along and he'd play drums with the guitar, boring bits in between. He'd play with the singer. You could always tell what song he was playing from what someone was playing was from the drum part. With Keith, he kind of had a multi-choice because he was hitting so many drums at the same time. You had a lot of freedom. You could play whatever you wanted, as long as when he played a break, as long as you came back in the same time. Sometimes you didn't. But, it's kind of pot luck. I played with a lot of other drummers on solo albums and stuff like that, but when we were playing his stuff with Kenny Jones, it was a lot different, much more tidy, sort of straight drummer. Simon Phillips was a technician, but he does tend to play this very complicated breaks. And then Zach is a little bit freer, the cross between Simon Phillips and Kenny in a way. He's a very tight, sort of dominant sort of beat drummer. He'll look at you when he plays the breaks, expecting you to play exactly the same thing. I kind of sort of pass the message back for him to watch me a lot more often because I'm not going to play the same fucking thing over and over again. It's a lot more exhausting to play with Steve than it is any of the other drummers because, you expect you to act like a flipping athlete. Play better the next day than you did the day before. I get a lot more freedom with him, but he tends to follow me a lot more, which is a lot easier for me because I can more to play what I like. We do an exchange solo in Shaking All Over where he plays as fast as he can. And I play something even faster. But then he'll play something even faster. The original idea with me writing was I was going to write, my manager, Kit Lambert, suggested that I write horror songs for children, because kids love things about bogeymen and stuff like that.
Pretty flattering.
Yes, very.
And you know, the truth of the matter is, that's just the way I play. And it's just the way he plays.
That's
And
so, well, as Anton said, that's because you're a lead drummer.
I am a lead drummer. And he was a lead bass player. So it made sense. I mean, he was talking about the exchange solo and, you know, where we trade back and forth. And we never said, hey, let's do this. It just happened. Everything that we did on stage just happened. It evolved. And that's the only other band I ever had that happen with was Rat Race. Everything else was sort of coordinated, even with the AC/DC guys or when I played with Robin or any of that stuff. It was usually pretty structured. But with John, it was never the same twice. And it was always risky. It was always, you know, it was either sink or swim. We didn't give a shit. It was just, let's just go nuts because we could. Nobody's screaming at anybody to turn down. Nobody's saying, slow it down. Nobody's saying, don't do that. This is like, you know, as he used to say, the lunatic running the asylum. And that was my pleasure to run that asylum. I was the MD for that band. And, musical director, MD for short, but not for long. Meaning I used to write up the sets of what would happen, you know, how the sets would go. And I mean, he made it just, there was no, hey, I'm in the Who and you're not, or there was never that. That was never part of any equation. It was always, I mean, the Who was always there, and you can't deny his Who legacy. But when John and I were playing together, it was just guys in a band. It was just guys in a band who really liked playing together and who really liked being reckless and loose and just didn't give a shit about anything. You know, it was like a bass solo with some songs in between.
Thank you, Baby Steve, BSC.
Thank you, Superstar Sender Steve. And it was the most fantastic musical journey to go, because you could just do anything you wanted. And you'll see when the new record comes out, there's some stuff on there that I found that we only played a couple of times. We just said, you know, why don't we do this? Let's just try this. Or maybe it just came out of nowhere. And you'll see. I mean, a lot of the songs, Real Me and stuff like that, are obviously, you know, they follow the pattern of the record. But
Well, you have some compliments here.
I have compliments.
Kitty says you're an amazing, talented drummer.
Thank you, Miss Kitty.
BSC says, we didn't need John to tell us what kind of drummer you are, but it sure was nice to hear. And Anton says, only Steve can play with John. And Laurie says, so true.
Well, I mean, that's why we played together. I mean, you know, the guy could have played with anybody that he wanted, and he did. I mean, he played with Simon Phillips, he played with Zach Starkey, he played with Kenny Jones and Keith Moon and a bunch of other guys. You know, he played with Barrymore Barlow who was my favorite drummer from Jethro Tull. And I'll never forget that day. He said to me in the studio in '88, I went to his house. We went to his house for the first time, and we were in the studio setting up. And he said, "Who's your favorite drummer?" And I said, "Oh, it would have to be Barrymore Barlow." And he goes, "Oh, that's good, because you just replaced him." And there are some of there's, I mean, and who's there to even hear that? You know what I mean? There's some other stuff that was just that was said that I wouldn't even repeat on the air because it was so mind blowing. But I heard it. I was there, and that was rock and roll heaven for me, man. I was just a license to overblow. So anyway, now for the endless vacation story. This is you heard John say, you heard him say, or did he? I don't know if he did say or he didn't say. When we did the Howard Stern show, he said, Howard said, "John, you must have some really cool cars." And he said, Rolls Royce said I had turned into a shooting brake, which was a station wagon, and I've got a Maserati Citroen, and I have a '67 Thunderbird, and two 1957 Cadillac Barretts, and Howard said, "Which is your favorite one to drive?" And he said, "I don't know how to drive." And he never had a license. And Howard said, "You don't know how to drive. What do you do?" He said, "I drink in them." So anyway.
Which he did. Because he didn't want to drink and drive. So he never learned to drive. He always had a chauffeur. So well, that's probably a good thing, except Lisa was the chauffeur sometimes.
yeah. Well, I have footage of that too. Yeah, but she had the antidote too. So
yes, you did.
So this is towards the end of shooting Ox's Tail, and I don't think we used this in the film either. I don't know, Kitty, you can tell me if you've ever seen this before. But I had an idea to do part of the interview in one of the cars. So we had Dave, the groundskeeper, bring around this what's the drop top Bentley? The Corniche.
Right.
Rolls Royce Corniche, right? And I said, it'd be funny. Let's do an interview with you behind the wheel of the car, and then at the end of the interview, he'll go, "Whoa," and get scared because he's sitting behind the steering wheel. We never really got that far, but that was my plan to do the bit. But this is the story of Endless Vacation. So you heard us play Endless Vacation in the beginning of this at the end of VH1 thing, and then that Endless Vacation is the first single from Oxumed Volume 2, and this is the story. Okay, yeah. Let's talk about solo albums. Out of your solo albums, and now you've done, you've done 6 studio albums and 1 live album, with 1 studio album about to come out. Do you have a favorite?
But yeah, it's another live album, the Cubist.
Oh, that's right. You have 2 live, right? So right, I was on that one.
Favorite. I think one I've got probably the most affection for that I still listen to a lot is Whistle Rhymes. It was the second one. I was a little bit better at my craft then, and the songs were a little quirky. I was writing them. My son Christopher was, I was changing his nappy and going into the studio about 5 in the morning and doing writing, and the songs turned out a bit strange, but I like the melodic content.
There's a wire. I don't think it's telling, but just want to make sure you don't have that. Yeah, I'm not thinking we use this, but anyway. Okay. You talked about J.E.B.
Also, maybe get into some of the songs he's written. We haven't really talked about that.
Oh, right. Like The Bogeyman?
Why don't we talk about some of the songs that you guys do, like in your band, 905, Success Story, Try Again.
Okay.
So maybe we can cut to some of those live if we get a story about it.
All right, yeah, we'll cut back and forth between some of the stuff that we have in the studio. You got a wild eyebrow here, John.
Always, isn't it?
Got a wild eyebrow, bro. All right, I know. Let's start off talking about the newest song that you've written so far. Up to date is "Darker Side of Night." How did that song come about? Worried about that eyebrow.
Yeah. The song "Darker Side of Night." I guess that the words were basically written for the Vampires album. It was kind of tailor-made for that, but the actual chord sequence I'd had for a long time, although it was a completely different tempo, it slowed down. But yeah, I guess that is the last song that I've written so far. Can't really say much about it, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
The words were sort of...
Well, let's see. Do you remember? So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to establish some of the songs that we did live with the VH1 crew. So I'm going to talk about "Try Again Today," 905, and maybe "Endless Vacation." Oh, there you go, "Endless Vacation." Let's talk about that. How that came up. Do you remember the day you walked in with the book "Endless Vacation"? So a new book about the Who, because I have that on videotape. You walked into me. Yeah.
It's we have 3 timeshares in Mexico, in Cabos and Lucas. I can go there 6 weeks a year to go fishing, and there's a magazine that comes with the timeshare, and it's called Endless Vacation. Holiday for the rest of your life and stuff like that. And yeah, I walked in and said, "Oh, there's a new book about the Who," and the idea for the song "Endless Vacation" came from that. It was like being on holiday for the rest of your life. Oh, well, I won't do anything again today. Yeah, it was sort of tailor-made to sing about the Who.
Seems that there's a little frustration in there. Hope I get old before I die.
There's a little sort of bit of sour grapes in there. Yeah, I mean, the whole reason that we put the solo band together was to just keep playing to audiences, and if you go through 2 years without playing to a soul, it's hell. It's just like being able to draw with no paper around, or your pens are all broken. It's just like really drives you crazy.
So an endless vacation isn't actually an appealing thought to you then?
No, it's endless vacations. Sounds like a nightmare to me. I've had plenty of vacation time. It's basically, I need some work time.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Nobody told me life up here was an endless vacation, and it's true. And it's funny because I was filming, home movies, not this, in the studio, and it was the first day that 96, I think it was 95, 96. And he walked in with this red book, and it said "Endless Vacation." Have you seen this book about the Who? I mean, it was just. And that's where he got the idea to write the song "Endless Vacation," and now here we are releasing Oxum Volume 2, and "Endless Vacation" is the first single from the new album, and it was in the VH1 piece, and it's a very, very strange world, man. And you heard him talk about. Well, you heard him talk about "Darker Side of Night," that's one of my favorite songs. What's that?
I don't know.
Oh, it's telling me that the doggy cam has no, the battery's wearing out on the doggy cam.
Uh-huh.
So I'll just disconnect that. Steve, have you heard of this?
Well, Gail said he looked bored. Gail, have you seen John on stage?
Yeah. It's like, you know,
That's how he looked.
well, and, you know, you got to realize that we shot 10 hours of us just that. You know, that's how it went. I would talk to him. I was right off camera. I wasn't mic'd up, which is why, you know, I sounded the way I sounded. And we would, you know, discuss the thing. And it was getting a bit tedious towards the end. This was like the last day of shooting, and we had talked about everything, and we had done every location on the property. I couldn't think of anything else to do, and we had another day to shoot. So that's when I had him pull the car around, and we did a bunch of stuff there. And some of it's funny. We didn't use. I don't know if we used any of the car footage. We had a couple of different setups.
Yeah, Gail said she didn't remember seeing him in the car.
Yeah, no, I don't think he was in it. You know, and we did so many cuts.
I thought I remember seeing him in the car.
No, you remember seeing the rushes because of because we did we just did so many edits of that film that I have no idea how it really goes anymore. But you know, it was just it was an amazing thing to do. But yeah, you get to the point where you start to run out of stories to tell and things to think about, and you want to promote certain stuff. And the idea behind, you know, we started that film when John was alive, and he actually named it Ox's Tail, Tale. Frickin', because he was clever beyond words.
Yeah.
But
and thought of stuff fast.
yeah, I mean, it was just such an amazing ride. He would make up games on the tour bus, rock stars into fish, and of course he had already thought of like a half a dozen, like Cod Stewart and the Small Places, or Pike and Tuna Turner. Or, it's just, you know, and then when he'd run out of names of rock stars into fish, it would be rock stars into diseases. So it'd be like Syphilis Paul or whatever. So I actually have one more thing, and I'm sure I've played this for you before. But this is the interesting thing about this. This is Bogeyman, and it's actually the music video that was meant to be released. And it's another long story. But how Bogeyman happened is we were in the studio, and the first run, we had the first week in the studio to write songs for vampires. And he brought down a cassette of Bogeyman, and it was just him playing bass and somebody playing drums and him singing. And I said to him, "Who's that playing drums?" And he said, "I don't know." And I said, "That sounds like Keith Moon." And he said, "Oh yeah, it's him." And I said, "Do you still have the multi-track to this?" And he said, "I have it somewhere." And I said, "Well, can you find it before we come back?" "Oh, okay." And he calls me up, and we're going to run over because I'm going to play you the whole Bogeyman video. But he calls me up like a week later, telling me that he couldn't find the multi-track. He had a tape room. I have a tape drawer. He had a tape room, right? I mean, all these multi-tracks just stacked up. And he said to me, I looked for the damn thing all day. I couldn't find it." He said, and I finally gave up, and he was leaving the room, and all of a sudden he hears a bang. And the tape that he was looking for fell over. It was labeled on the wrong side. Mm-hmm. And it was the Bogeyman tape. And he said he got a chill because he thought that Keith wanted to be on the record, which... who could blame him? Yep. So here you go, Bogeyman. We're going to run over a little bit, but and the Bogeyman is played by yours truly. And you know, the cool thing about it is I played some percussion. I actually got to play on a record with Keith Moon. How cool is that? Anyway, here it is. Blop. Come on. Here it comes. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Come on. Come on. It's coming, I know it.
When he gets home and there be hell to pay. away. Wash that face and hands, you'd think your skin was turning gray. Oh man, look at you. Sure as night turns into day. Oh man, look at you. He'll come and drag you away. Sit up straight and eat your greens. Stop playing with your food. Don't pick your nose at the table. Go straight to bed. That's very rude. So I spent the night with my head in the covers, protected by electric light. When my mom came in to say goodnight, I nearly died with fright. Oh man, look at you. Sure as night turns into day. Oh man, look at you. He'll come and drag you away. I've grown up, I realize how silly kids can be. Now I sit up all night with a baseball bat, and Pokemon ain't gonna get me. Look at you. Sure night turns into day. Pokemon, look at you. Come and drag you away.
Yeah, the bogeyman. Now, I've got to point something out to you in this. Got to point something out. You know, I directed this video and I wrote the storyboard for it. And you'll see right here what was supposed to happen. He starts off playing the gold buzzard in the very beginning. And every time the bogeyman comes up and snaps his fingers, you're supposed to see a flash, and the bass is supposed to get worse. So if you remember, he said, that's the flash. He said, I sit up all night with a baseball bat. That bogeyman ain't gonna get me. Come on, play. Whatever. You'll see the bogeyman snaps his fingers, and the bass turns into a bass. There, he's playing the baseball bat, but you didn't see the flash. But then there's the flash, and it turns back into his regular bass. They didn't edit it right, because if you look through the video, that's the original bass that he was playing, and then the bogeyman turned it into. Here he comes. Come on, do it. Turns it into a Framus bass right there, and then he turns it into, where's the other one? The bogeyman turns it into just all these crappy different basses. Giant acoustic bass, and that's the problem when you're not in post to edit, and here comes one, boom. There was one there, but then it turns into all these different basses. I mean, anyway, it was It was a good idea, and it was a lot of fun, and me being dressed like that and trying to give John direction for where there. See, now that's the little Firebird bass, Thunderbird bass. Bogeyman turned it into the smallest bass that he played, and then later, there he is, boom, now it's turned into the biggest bass that he plays with an E at the top of it. So that's, you know.
Oh, thank you, Gail.
No, we don't want that. We want this to stop. Anyway, yeah, there's the Bogeyman flying through space. Anyway, I hope it was
Ross still wants to know if it's on YouTube and where can he find it, and we're good thanking Gail for
What?
some stars.
I just had the
Okay,
laser
puppy,
yeah.
and where can he
See the video?
Yeah,
I think it's on my YouTube channel.
on Steve's YouTube channel.
Yeah, if it's not, I'll post it up there.
There you go.
We showed a bunch of videos for that thing, but anyway, that's just some of the fun. I mean, we shot that part, the green screen part with the Bogeyman and John playing the basses, was shot out in his carport where he had he obviously had garages, but then there was a carport outside, and we put up a big green screen, and I'm dressed up in the Bogeyman outfit with the stuff all over my face, and I'm telling him, okay, now you gotta do this, and you gotta do that, and he's looking at me, I have gloves, it was a lot of fun. So anyway, on that happy note, kids, you know the drill. If I don't see you in the future, see you Friday. If I don't see you in the future, I'll see you in the pasture.
Good night, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll see you Friday.
See you Friday.